What's going on, guys? Matt over here with Lethal Garage, and today is something different. Today I am building a computer for the Lethal Garage, the tower. It will be the Lethal Tower. I'm doing it all themed out, lethal. But who's this? Who's this guy? On my left, right? Is this? I don't even know.
I'm me.
Jay's here. This is JayzTwoCents. If you guys don't know JayzTwoCents, check him out. I put a link down below in the description. He is a PC guru. I had been fortunate enough to run across him at my previous job. PR girl sent me his info. He wanted to get into EA Play to check out a game with your daughter. Yep. And that all worked that all out, got it out, and he came down and found out he was actually looking at a Camaro ZL11LE. Long story short, he ended up getting the car. I had my car. We've been kind of talking ever since.
A lot of common ground, computers and cars.
Yeah, so I brought Jay here because, again, he's the master of all PC master. Is that what I think that was the term.
PCMR, PC Master Race?
PC Master Race, yes.
I know a thing or two about computers. I've owned a couple.
Just a few. I mean, if you guys don't know, Skunkworks is kind of your big.
Yeah, and it's called that because it's a program that's always going, and it's supposed to grow with the channel. So as the channel continues to grow, that build has to keep getting more ridiculous, over the top, diminishing returns.
It is pretty over the top. What, two 2080 Ti's, water cooled?
Yeah, it's got 7960X in it right now, which isn't the highest CPU that you can. And I'm going, I don't know if I want to drop in my 9980XE, but I could, and it's just like
drain the loop again.
I've got like 10 times the power of like the entire like NASA program, even in the 90s, like in that one PC. So,
well, I love the name, I love the channel, I love the content, and I've convinced Jay to come here and be like, "Hey, want to come down and help me build a tower?" And he was like, "It's pretty." He's probably in his mind going, "It's pretty easy. You don't need me."
I was thinking to myself, I know Matt knows how to build a computer. Is he doing something crazy or custom?
It really kind of derived that from you guys. So a lot of you guys have seen Jay pop up in videos here and there. They're like, "You guys should do a video together." And I was like, "Well, I want a tower. I've been hitting him up about parts and pieces for a little while now." Yep. And I was like, "You know what? I'm pulling the trigger. Merry Christmas to Lethal Garage and doing this."
It's a nice Christmas.
It's a decent one. I am reusing some parts because, again, I'm not building this tower to be, I'm not building it to be a gaming. It's going to be a rendering editing system first. I will definitely end up gaming on it. I did download Red Dead Redemption, and I do want to actually start playing that at some point too.
That's apparently the game of the year.
I've heard it's great. Actually, I know it's great. I just actually need to sit down and play it. So I am sporting the i9. This is 9800K. Jay did warn me about a few things, so I picked up some sandpaper and a beautiful mirror. No, not to just look at myself. Hey, we look pretty good. Huh?
The mirror's broken.
Yes. Because there's a known issue with these, or
well, the heat spreader on them, I've had a few samples now, a few builds, and none of them have been flat. At least they've been flat enough to get the job done, but not flat enough to keep the CPU as cool as it should be. Some of these have run in the 90s to 100, 100C with stock temp voltages and stuff because it's so concave or so domed, the cooler doesn't make a good contact with it.
Yeah.
So I just wanted you to get the stuff ready in case we had to do it. So it's easy enough if we had to.
So they just had a recent one where the top was domed. So this one, it's really going to come down to, does it spin, right? Is it like a top?
Because ours spun really bad, and that one's not.
That's pretty good.
We could still have a high perimeter, which is the other thing we've seen.
Hold on, guys. So like the car world, there are stickers in the PC model.
Yeah. Well, no, that's extra megahertz.
Should I put this in the back of my car?
Extra megahertz.
Just put it on the window below Red Barn Racing. Or I-9. But yes, so this one's not spinning. But we'll test it.
Could still be, the edges could be tall, like the corners. We've seen that.
So, well, I'm happy it's not dome. That's usually a good
sign.
Because then we'll just fill it all in with thermal paste.
Well, it's not body filler. We don't want to. We don't want to.
I bonded my CPU. Yeah. What's the problem with that?
You can do it. I mean.
It's supposed to be dime size, no piece size, no quarter size. You're supposed to just spread it all on there perfectly.
The grain of rice doesn't hold up anymore because there's too many cores now. The die is too big under there.
Yeah, because they're like.
Yep.
Either or.
You got 8 cores crammed into that little.
That's why I got it.
Yeah.
Either or, we're gonna slam this thing together. I'm gonna do a lot of time lapse here, so you don't have to hear us talking and doing weird stuff. I'll throw some Lethal Garage logos up on this bad boy, and it will be a done deal. We probably will break it apart when we do the lapping to show you what we actually do with fine. But yeah, well, let's just do this.
Okay. So I just taped down some 1500 grit sandpaper to this piece of glass. We use glass because it's perfectly flat. I'm using 1500 first to test it because if it turns out it is flat, if we did 400, then we'd have to work our way through all the grits and lap it anyway. But if we use 1500 and it's smooth, we don't really have to touch it. So just push it down. You know, you don't want to put force down on it. You don't want to force it to flex or anything. We're just going to lightly sort of rub it back and forth, rotate it the other way. And we're going to look at the sand pattern on there. And as you can see, we're high on the sides. So that's one of the reasons why I was saying the spinning method works to check for domed. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're not still high centered on the side. So as you can see, the only places that actually rubbed were the very edges right there and not the actual center of the die. So I still think we should lap it because now you've got a little bit of a concave happening here. We've had some that were high centered, not as a dome, but a line right down the middle, a straight line where it was almost like a speed bump. So as you can see though, by going both directions, our wear was on the same spots. You can see you're definitely high on the sides.
Yes.
So spin method works pretty well for testing one, but as you can see, we clearly need to do it. Yeah. So now we're just gonna start at 400 and work our way up back to the 1500.
Let's do it.
Super high. That's crazy.
So I have actually never done this to a CPU. I've seen other people do it. I've seen people de-lid the IHS and then they even sand the die down. Like, you can do it though. Like it's crazy what some of these guys do. The one guy, I watched a guy do it. God, I forget his name. It's eluding my brain right now. But not only did he de-lid it and sand it, he took down 0.02 millimeters of material off the actual CPU die, and he dropped temps by like 20 degrees. It was insane. Yeah. I think it was overall 30 degrees from the difference between the stock settings on the IHS with just a normal cooler versus him de-lidding it and putting it on there. And that's a huge amount of heat to displace. 30 degrees is a pretty massive drop when considering the CPU will sit there idle at 50 and 60.
See how this is turning all copper color now?
Yeah. Purple.
Normally I would say this is not necessary unless you're going for like extreme overclocking, except as the cores got more dense and the heat got worse, we were seeing these things overheating with stock settings.
Well, and that's one of the big things with these chips, right? Like, it will run up to 5 gigahertz as long as the heat. On one core, as long as the heat is good.
Right. It'll run at like 4.9 on
But you can sync all the cores, right? With
yeah, we were running ours like 5.3.
Yeah.
After doing all this. On all cores. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh.
But look at the pattern.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So what's the nerve-wracking part?
Why is this the nerve-wracking part?
Because for new builders, they're not comfortable with the pins.
Why? My thing is always just knowing which way it goes, but there's usually, there's always the error, but there's always the notch.
Yeah. And then
is there a notch on this? There is a notch.
Yeah, there's two of them. They're at the top, like near the hinge.
There you go. New builder. Is it on there? Is it good? And this is the part that I always get nervous of. Like, is this really supposed to be that hard?
Well, we just did a build guide, and I was like, yes, it's going to be really hard when you push it down.
Putting the board in the case. I was getting nervous.
Did you pull the plastics off yet? Your motherboard stuff?
Yeah, on the top.
Well,
there's more plastic?
Right here.
There's more plastic?
Yeah.
Oh, they would.
There might be one in the lower one, too. No, you already got that one. See, now it's used.
Is that what it is? I used to leave the plastics on the graphic cards back in the day. Why? I don't know, but I did. Okay, that's all lined up. So they don't even snap in anymore. The IO shield is just on it.
Yep.
It fits up really nice.
And then the nice thing is they always put a nub in the center one, so it
Yeah,
holds
so it
now.
holds it.
And then here's your motherboard screws. Fun fact, every single build I've done, I've intentionally left one motherboard screw out.
So we're gonna defy everything you guys know about PCs. We're gonna put the radiator right here, so that way the radiator is getting the freshest air possible. And Jay has assured me, through all of his testing and everything, the CPU is not putting enough heat to really affect the rest of the system. I guess your only really concern would be the GPU getting fresh air through there, but honestly, at a 360 radiator, distributing that heat across that with 3 big fans, that's a lot of heating. Now, if you only had the little 120, I would be like, okay.
Or if you were running like a GPU hybrid, I wouldn't recommend the front because the GPU does really heat up the fluid. The GPU puts off more, TDP or dissipated heat than the CPU by far. Like 3 times.
And keep in mind, most GPUs are venting the air out of the back of the case anyway, so it's just making sure fresh. Yeah, I guess.
Well, you've got a blower, and you've got a blower type, so it's not even going to be affecting the case temps really much at all.
Yeah, so that'll be nice. So we took off the fans that came with it. We're going with the new fans from NZXT on this setup. I just got to orientate it so the cables are going the right way. And I'll show you guys so you can actually see. So got to get these on the radiator, and we're going to do it this way or upside down.
I would go with it on the top, because then you can route the tubes behind this little bracket.
Yeah, that looked clean.
Go up and over.
That looked clean. The cooler, these fans weren't too difficult to put in. But you can see I had to thread it. I had to thread the bolts through the front into the rad. It's a pretty view right there. There we go. Those are done. That doesn't look bad. Give me that, like you said, that radiator look inside the case.
Well, I mean, being able to see the radiator then kind of ties that automotive theme in there.
Yeah, that'd be cool. We've kind of decided you won't be able to see it in this view, but the NZXT logo runs this way on the top. It looks like a mirror probably to you guys. So we're gonna keep it that way. There are some weird cables going around everywhere, but at this point we're just...
My biggest complaint about this cooler is the wiring harness.
This is supposed to be on the inside. There we go.
I'll start one for you.
I guess I do have to unplug this so we can get to that one. Pays off to have a helping hand. Oh,
You know those times?
fine. We just won't have the cables plugged in.
You know those times you just wish you had a third hand? Well, here you go.
Actually, it wouldn't have been too bad on this one because I could just...
I like how it's still just sliding down.
It's just all falling to the floor. Why am I even holding it still? You have...
There. You do that.
Yes, I'll get... Oh, the hardest one, thanks. Thanks, Jay. But now we get to reconnect these because...
I think that one might have been upside down the first time.
No, I don't think it was.
Sure.
There's only one way to plug it in.
Unless you push really hard.
It only goes that way.
I bet you flip it over though.
There's no way. The pins can't go in if you flip it around the other way. It's virtually impossible. Easy and good. It is. There's only one way. Jay doesn't believe it. Jay's gonna come and inspect now.
Well, what I'm looking at is how I would route the cables on this one. Fortunately for this one, you can actually orient it horizontal the right way. Yeah, but if we go like this, you can sort of route it next to this, which would be a little bit cleaner. Let's sand up this guy.
See, this is why I brought Jay.
I can't help it. I cannot help it. My brain does not allow this stuff to just be ugly.
So I'm not going to record every single zip tie going on because that's just going to be tedious and dumb. But yeah, we'll do some wire management action and get this thing looking good. But here's a backside view. And we were talking about this earlier, but this case has tons of wire management sleeves and valleys and Velcro zip tie. It's really nice. Like the value you get in this case is pretty amazing.
How much did they pay you to say that?
Nothing, because I bought this on my own accord. Nothing was sponsored in this video.
Yeah, you have the cord.
I'm being stubborn.
I don't know anything about being stubborn. What are you talking about?
Can't give me a finger. Oh, come on. It's a game of chance. You win.
Nope.
No, you win.
No, I'm gonna see if I can.
No, you win.
I'm gonna see if I can do it. Well, I told you it wasn't possible. Actually, it's very possible. It's just not worth the effort.
Jay, you gave up a lot quicker than I did.
Because I stacked onto your effort.
Now watch, it'll be a pain in the neck just even trying to get it in. Of course it won't be. Ha ha. Oh, come on.
My concern if you add all four is you'll probably end up having negative pressure.
Really?
Because you have only 3 fans on the front blowing through a rad through vents. So if you have more air trying to exhaust than you have going in, it's going to pull dust in through all the cracks. So if you just do the 3, then you'll have a little bit more balanced airflow. I got a video where I demonstrated it with smoke.
That's funny.
So
I did smoke, it makes it real. So the back of the case, it's not a complete utter mess. It's messy. It's bad. Let's just go with it.
but you don't see it, so who cares?
Yeah, okay. So it looks, here's the back side. All the wires ran, everything connected. We have lots of, I didn't realize how many fans you can technically connect, but if you think about it, if you did like a push-pull setup on this thing, you would have plenty of fan connectors. So I'm just gonna highlight that. But we opted to have as many fans exhausting air as we do providing air into the case. But you can see on the front side, it's really clean. So got the data drives here, primary OS drive right up front, super easy to get to, so that's good. Got the white and black theme fans, you know, lethal. I think we may end up ripping apart this graphics card and taking the green off. Yeah, then it'll be white, then it will match. I think we'll put the LED strip along this side, so there's an LED strip that came with the case. We'll match that, it's already ran, plugged in. This is just the extension cable. I think it's looking really good. So at this point, just do the final touches and then see if everything works. I guess that's kind of a big one.
We should have let in with that.
Yeah. Well, Windows is being installed. Yay! So the tower's on. The problem is, you'll notice right away, some of the fans aren't spinning, and we think that's just because the software is not installed. So we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
We also have one drive not wanting to show, so we think maybe a cable might be kinked or something. I'm going to check those out after Windows is installed, but we see one, not the other. Again, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the lighting strip and the fans will kick on once the cam software is installed. So NZXT, they want you to use their cam software. It's how you can control everything. So until you install it, it doesn't really do anything, which is why there's actually a sticker right in the back that says not to plug the water pump into those controllers because they don't necessarily turn on. They're 0 dB and smart and intelligent and all that. So once he installs the OS and installs the cam software, then he'll have control over those fans and the lighting stuff. But I think that one of the 2 terabyte drives, though, the wire is kind of kinked in there sideways because it's pinched against the back of the case due to slack and the type of SATA. We don't have another 90 or 180 degree SATA cable. Kind of wish I'd known because I have a box of them. But yeah, I'm confident Matt can figure that one out though.
Yes. So, Jay's got to take off, so everybody say, bye, Jay. Thanks for coming over and hanging out, checking this out, lapping my CPU.
Which, considering the fact that it was already self-overclocking, which is what ASUS motherboards like to do, and it was idling at 26 degrees Celsius, I think it was a good call.
Yeah, very good call. So huge thanks to Jay for coming out. But I will finish out this video next, and it will be hopefully everything running perfectly fine once I install the proper software. And yeah, look at Windows is already 76% installed, so we're doing good. Windows 10 installs really fast, so that's cool.
It's the updates that take forever.
Yes. And I don't have to move the tower for that because this has built-in Wi-Fi, so I could just leave it set up here for when my wife gets home and she gets super mad that I've taken over the entire table and we can't eat dinner, so then I have to convince her to go out to eat tonight. That's not a bad thing, right? No.
Ulterior motives.
Yes, I'm gonna have salmon tonight at Red Robin. Red Robin. Yum. Oh, what are you? We were on tune there too.
My kids love
Did you ever do singing growing up?
Yum.
So yeah, we're not done yet, but again, Jay's got to take off. He's got a date with wife, family.
Family date.
Yeah, they're going somewhere special, so I'm not gonna hold him up anymore. I've held him hostage here long enough.
Hey, the first boot worked.
That's true, it did.
So that's always the nerve-wracking.
It's because I didn't have the camera rolling when we did the first boot. If the camera was rolling during first boot, and I apologize, guys, I do that on purpose because even when I used to do computer stuff, I would never record the first pass because it was the first thing that would go wrong.
Yep.
Yeah, Jay, he doesn't have that option. He has to record everything he does on
Well, we
PCs.
kind of hope it fails because then it gives us more content. Why did it fail? Oh no, let's find out. Let's tune into part 2 to find out.
I don't like that idea. there's no part 2 here. So yeah, so we'll get. Let's just teleport to it working all fine. She's done, so I put the glass panel back on her. But hopefully those shots were kind of cool to see. Again, this system, it's an editing system. It's built for cranking out, rendering, doing Adobe Premiere video editing and H.264. That's the primary reason why I built this bad boy. I needed a replacement. My tower was starting to slow down a bit. And you know, I did brand it. Lethal Garage, Lethal Garage, Lethal Garage. So it's got subtle branding. Subtle. But it is running a GTX 1080 Ti. Again, I didn't want to opt for the RTX setup. I did just keep it single card for the time being because I'm not gaming and I don't need it. It is running the new Intel i9 990, 9900 K? Yeah, K. Running at 5 gigahertz. We haven't even attempted any sort of overclock or anything on this. I don't think I will. We'll see how rendering and everything does stability-wise, but we did put the NZXT 360 Kraken AIO setup on there. I really like the way it looks. I gotta mess around with the lighting. Right now it's just blue and white. I have a couple Corsair fans that I had from a while ago that are already black and white, so I think that matched the theme pretty good. I need to go into the Asus motherboard and adjust its color settings, because right now it's just cycling through multiple colors. And it paired the system up. I got 2 Samsung 860 2TB drives. I have an 860 1TB drive for the OS. And then I do have my Intel SSD 750, the MVM card. And I do a lot of my video transferring to that drive because it's just so stinking fast. Read-write speeds are just ridiculous right now. But outside of that, everything is running good, looking good. We got the software installed. We ran into an issue where these fans and the lighting not working was actually the wrong USB 2.0 hub plugged into the board. Swapped those around. That all worked perfectly fine. And you'll notice I did relocate one of the hard drives because the power cable was getting kinked over there and it just wasn't plugging into the drive all the way. So I moved it to the back of the case. There's 2 hard drives on the back side of the motherboard mounts for that. So technically I could fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more hard drives in this tower. There's plenty of room. Again, this is the H700i. It's a really cool case. I've mainly got it for the tempered glass, the nice clean look. I think it turned out really well, at least for this build. I don't know how you guys would change the build, but I like it. So it's gonna go sit up in the Lethal office and be used for rendering here on out. But right now it's getting updates installed from it because my Windows install thumb drive is older than dirt. And I guess I get to return these because I don't need them. Sorry, Corsair. These are coming back to you. So outside of that, thanks for checking out the video. Again, huge shout out to Jay for coming down and just hanging out. Kind of giving me some pointers. Really the big thing was lapping the CPU. I've never really done that before. I've seen it done, but really awesome. Temps are really good. Actually, I've been running it through a benchmark as well. It's 100% complete, at least on the preset. It's going through the load preset right now. So we're getting 25 Celsius idle. Looks like under a 33% load, it's jumping up to 41, 39 Celsius range right now. It's going through a whole set right now, so we'll see what it actually does. It's jumping up to 40% load. So yeah, 46%, still holding at 40s. That's not bad. That's really good. I know a lot of guys with these chips out of the box are running at 50 plus Celsius, so I'm not sad by that number. But outside of that, tower's running great. I think it looks good. Let me know what you guys think down below. Again, I'll put the full parts list in the description. And as always, if you guys didn't know, I have become a partner with Amazon. So any Amazon links down below, if you click on those and purchase products through Amazon, proceeds or any products that are partnered with Amazon in a way, that does help give a little kickback to the channel. So if you guys are ever gonna shop on Amazon and just are gonna do it on the whim, go to my channel, look in the description, click on that link, or click on any of the links for the products listed there. And yeah, you can get a couple bucks back to the channel, help pay for more videos, more content. So that's all I got. Thanks for joining me again. Thanks Jay for coming out. And as always, guys, I hope to see you on the road.